Hey everybody, welcome to Youth Sunday School. Look who I got. I got Michael.
Hey,
Carrie decided to go and be hurricane hunter. She wants to go hunt Hurricane Delta. She's down in Panama City Beach.
I don't think she went for the hurricane
She definitely got some waves.
though. That's what she told us. She was going for the hurricane, but I think she went for something else.
Leisure.
Uh-huh.
But they didn't get any oysters. No, the place they eat is closed. Corona.
Corona.
So it's gonna be me and Michael today. Michael's gonna do most of the talking because he's better at it than I am.
Yay, me. Hey.
Congratulations.
That's right. So we're going into this week. It's who has been a good example to you? Everybody's got somebody out there that is an example to them. You know, think about it. Who is the example to you? A good one, not a bad example. Talking about good ones. You know, we're spiritual, intellectual, emotional, rational, and moral. And we are called to reflect God in all these ways. Moral means that we're created with an internal sense of right and wrong. You know, early ages, you don't know no better. Your mom and your dad's there to teach you right from wrong. You get on up into age, teenage years, adulthood and all that, you know right from wrong. You know bad decision from good decision. And our being rational means that we are created to live in relationships with others. Whereas the world is inclined to live for themselves, Christians are called to serve others, just as Jesus did. The world is inclined to live for themselves. That tells me people out there are just living for them. They don't care about nothing else out there. Christians, as good Christians, strong in their relationship, we are called to serve others. You know, the setting of this is when God met the Israelites in Mount Sinai. He was concerned about the relationships with others as he was about their relationship with him. 6 of the 10 commandments deal with relationships between people. 6 of the 10 commandments deal with that. The last 3 address the right actions toward the property and reputation of others, as well as personal contentment with God's provisions. Centuries later, David wrote a psalm urging God's people to trust and delight in God, who fulfills humanity's deepest desires. The Bible meets life. Boy, have you ever watched videos, YouTube? May have been there in person. I wished I could go in person one time. But the implosion of a structure, you know, they set dynamite or whatnot inside of it and they blow it up. And the building just kind of crumbles in and it turned into dust and ashes.
All with a push of
A button. It takes seconds. The entire structure collapses into a pile of dust and debris. In the controlled demolition, experts place a number of small explosives strategically throughout the structure. Now, if they left it up to me, I'd run around and just slap explosives on everything that I saw and say, hey, we want a big one. But that's not how it's done. You know, they have trained people that go in there, they look at it, they determine what walls need to come down first, second, third, fourth, or however many explosions there need to be, so it all falls in one pile.
I mean, it took the Georgia Dome like 45 to 50 seconds to fall. Took them months to figure out where to put that one little stick.
That one little thing, it took months of planning and planning. So, you know, the structural integrity of our lives and relationships matters just as much as it does for a building. It takes only a second for a relationship to implode. One lie can collapse a friendship. One slanderous accusation can destroy people's reputation. One wrong choice carried out to its fullest can cause a decade of growth to crumble. The Ten Commandments provide a solid foundation built on honor and contentment to ensure the structural integrity of our relationships. So we're in Exodus. We're going to be in Exodus 20, 15 through 16.
Oh, I got this one.
You got this one?
Yeah, I can cover this one.
Okay.
Do not steal. Do not give false testimony against your neighbor. Exodus 20, 15, and 16.
Well, that was short. That's why I had it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple more longer
There-
ones
I
coming
know,
up.
there's some long ones coming up. So do not steal. You know, it puts in here that this gentleman, he sold something through social media. They met up, the guy pays him money, he gives him the product, but the guy that received the money, he started counting the money. He counted out, you know, in front of the other person, not to say I don't trust you or anything, just to make sure both are on the same page. Well, he was $60 over. The guy paid him an extra $60. What do you think happened?
He gave him an extra $60 bill.
Yeah, $60 bill. He did. Gave him 320. Too many. So the guy that was counting it, he said he handed $60 back to the other guy and said, "Hey, you gave me too much money." And the other guy was kind of looking shocked, like, "Hey, what's going on? I don't understand this. I didn't know there was good people still left in the world." You know?
You told me $60, I paid you 120, and you're giving me 60 back.
Yeah, and he thanked him for being honest. Because of the way of our culture, normal functions, people expect others to take advantage when given the opportunity. Do you understand that? Right now, in this world, because the way of our culture, normal functions, people expect others to take advantage when giving the opportunity. Do you expect people to take advantage of you? Do you take advantage of other people? However, integrity should be simply automatic for those who follow Christ. We never know who's watching our actions or listening to our words. The Apostle Peter framed integrity in such a way that it shows itself as a ready defense.
Conduct yourselves honorably among the Gentiles, so that when they slander you as evildoers, they will observe your good works and will glorify God on the day he visits. That's from 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 12.
1 Peter. Conducting ourselves honorably and with integrity is at the heart of 2 of the 10 commandments. Do not steal, and do not give false testimony against your neighbor. We are to treat others with respect, and that includes respect for their possessions. Our words should also show respect for the other person. These principles show up in a Christian's fair, honest, and kind treatment of others. Jesus summed it up when he said, "By this everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another." Loving one another includes speaking the truth in love at all times. Many people use little white lies. You ever told a little white lies? They say they do no real harm. However, all lies are contraindicated to the very nature of God. And to claim the name of Christ while lying is to drive people away from him. Lies always have a way of coming back around. For this reason, we ought not to lie. And they really did put, we ought not to lie in the lesson. When we operate outside the virtues of the kingdom, we are not displaying the truth of who God is. Instead, we are reflecting the deception of Satan, the father of lies, whose goal is destruction. Living a life of integrity means modeling our thoughts, our words, and actions after God. As we do this, we advance his kingdom on earth, bringing glory to him and good to others. Now we're moving on to Exodus 20:17.
I'll read that.
You got that one again?
I'm on a roll.
All right.
Do not covet your neighbor's house. Do not covet your neighbor's wife, his male or female servant, his ox or donkey, or anything that belongs to your neighbor. That's from Exodus 20:17.
Now this was probably written a good long time ago. It was. I agree. So not many people have oxes anymore.
No.
They got the donkeys, but
Not your everyday pet.
not your everyday on oxes. No. And this is just me, but when he says neighbors, I'm pretty sure he's talking about everybody other than you. You know, not just the person that lives next door. He's talking about everybody other than you. You know, Aesop fables include the story of a dog crossing a bridge with a bone in his mouth. I've never heard this one before. Anybody else?
No.
You know, this dog had a bone in his mouth. He was crossing a bridge. He looked into the water. He thought he saw a bigger dog with a bigger bone. Well, he wanted that bigger bone, so he opened his mouth to reach down and take the bone away from the bigger dog. But
There was a problem.
yeah, we all know what happened. The bone that he had in his mouth fell into the water and sunk to the bottom, and there was no other bone. But he failed and he didn't get anything. Not being satisfied, we already have the quickest path towards losing it. Advertisers are well aware of prosperity towards. Am I in there right?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I missed a page. Just, hey, look at this number down there. So they spend outrageous amount of time and money making us dissatisfied. They know that we'll become discontent with our current state. We will give in to their sales pitch and give them our money.
Come on down to Big Bob's Used Cars.
Come on down. You need that new car, new cell phone, new TV. Hey, this TV that's $4,000, you get one extra channel on that smart little tab down bottom. You know, they play into everything. You can think something, and Amazon pops up on your phone with what you've been thinking. So, you know, so you'll go out and you buy it.
Then you got to wait on Prime for 2 days.
I see it. Many people aren't happy unless they're constantly obtaining more. Contentment is found in what we have. It's realizing that God has met our needs and choosing to live in gratitude. It is just being as happy with old clothes as with new trendy designer items. In both cases, we're warm and we're modest. You know, every time they come out with a new updated pair of blue jeans and all that, I don't run out and get it.
No.
I'm content with the old, worn out, broke in. It fits me. They know where I've been and all that. They feel good.
I don't need to go and get a loan to get a pair of pants
No.
either.
$60 for a pair of blue jeans? No. You're out the window. It's taking as much pleasure living in a small apartment as in a 5-bedroom house. Both provide a roof over our heads. Right? You know, they do give you a roof. Now, that's not saying if you need 3 or 4 bedrooms for your family, you're not supposed to live in a 1 to 2 bedroom apartment, you know. But if you're living in an apartment, be as happy as if you're living in a 5-bedroom house.
So you got a 5-bedroom house, and I got a small apartment.
Hey, I do.
You're content, right?
Yeah, I'm content.
I'm content.
Yeah. Apartment may be for me here in a couple of years. You never know. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on at the house right now. So, apartment's looking good for me. Too many hedges. Got to burn stuff. Remodeling.
Now, you go to the apartments. I'm not gonna mention any names, but you can set up. They got a little burn pile over there.
Do they? Yeah. All right. So, do I have to light it or just put it on there?
Nah, you can light it.
Okay. I like to put some gas on there.
It always gets blamed on me anyway.
Okay. All right, okay. It's being satisfied with a hot dog as with a filet mignon. Either way, we have food to eat. Now, that's a hard one right there. Everybody's thinking that's the hard one. You got filet over here and you got a hot dog over here. But God's asking you to be content with it. You know, it's food. It fills your belly up and all that. So be happy. When we live in a content mindset, we are acknowledging the goodness of God and His provisions, whatever they are. We allow gratitude to replace a spirit of dissatisfaction. Circumstances or possessions should never drive our contentment. The Apostle Paul shared the secret to contentment when he wrote, I know both how to make do with little, and I know how to make do with a lot. In any and all circumstances, I have learned the secret of being content, whether well fed or hungry, whether in abundance or in need. I am able to do all things through him who strengthens me. The secret comes through knowing that we all have and all we can do comes through Christ, who provides all we need. So, who did that? Paul, the Apostle Paul, he wrote that, and he's telling us that all we need comes through God, through Christ, who provides everything for us. He lived in a time where he was hungry. He lived in a time where there was too much food. He was overfed. Lived in a time of cold and rainy, no roof, to cold and rainy with a roof. He went through it all, and he was happy. He said, I was able to do this with all things through him who strengthens me. And that's Christ and God. So we're moving on to Psalms 37, 1 through 6.
I'll get this one.
You got
too.
that one again? All right.
Do not be agitated by evildoers. Do not envy those who do wrong, for they wither quickly like grass and wilt like tender green plants. Trust in the Lord and do what is good. Dwell in the land and live securely. Take delight in the Lord, and he will give you your heart's desire. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust in him, and he will act, making your righteousness shine like the dawn, your justice like the noonday.
These words from King David, they capture the heart of the commandment not to covet. He began by reminding us to not envy those who do wrong. It's easy to envy those who have no regard for God, yet seem to flourish. Have you ever stepped back, looked at somebody and said, how are they doing? How are they so good? How are they living like they're living? Well, maybe they're not living right in the Lord. Maybe they're doing stuff against God and all that. But you're not to envy them. You don't want what they got. As another psalmist wrote, my feet almost slipped, my steps nearly went astray, for I envied the arrogant. I saw the prosperity of the wicked. That means he almost went to the dark side. Break it down simple. He almost slipped from the good side and went to the dark side. He was going to do the evil. He was going to get the riches. He was going to get the cars and all that. But he saw the wickedness in it, and he didn't. The antidote for such envy and dissatisfaction comes from looking to God instead of the longing for those things wicked people have and gain by dishonest means. In our culture, contentment can be issued for many people. Covetous relates not only to others' possessions, but to many other areas of life as well. Teens can often be tempted to envy. When we are tempted to be envious of others, we need to remember that God is the source of all we have. It may be possible to get ahead by doing wrong things, but we will suffer in the end. On the other hand, when we live in abundance to God, we can know for certain that he will provide all we need. And God is able to make every grace overflow to you, so that in every way, always having everything you need, you may excel in every good work. It's simple. We can look at a teenager's life and we can break that down. So I'll use my kids for an example. My oldest Seth, he started out in a 2001 Ford Ranger pickup truck. It smoked, and you had to check the oil when you filled it up with gas, and in between gas fill up. It wasn't brand new and all that, but he was content to have that truck. Now, I'm not saying brand new trucks and all that's bad and all that, but I've seen some teenagers, they go to their dads, they go to their moms, but he's got it, but she's got it. Why can't I have it? Why can't I get it? Why can't we do this? Why can't we do that? God will come. God puts everything in our lives for a reason. He's always given us what we need. They needed a vehicle to get back and forth from school. They got a vehicle. It wasn't brand new. It wasn't jacked up. It wasn't speedy. It wasn't a Corvette or anything like that. But it got them from point A to point B and then back to point A safely. So, That's simple. That's, being envious of the wrongdoers and stuff like that. It's hard in a teenager's life. I get it. I understand that. So the next time you're tempted to envy others, remember that God owns it all. He will never run out of things we need. God is faithful to provide exactly what we need. When we understand this, we can experience contentment and joy in His life. I believe that was it.
That is page 8.
That is page 8. Yes, that was the last page, other than the book that I had.
So next week we will see if Carrie.
Carrie gets back from the hurricane. She may get blown away.
Yep.
It's not that the wind is strong and blowing.
It's
what
the wind is strong and blowing.
There's a clip on YouTube that I watched today, and somebody made a comment, said, please show the stop sign. Well, there was this female reporter. She was giving a report about that time, the stop sign, wow, took her out of camera view and all that. So, it's that.
Yeah, the Weather Channel is going to be great in the next couple of days.
It will be. It will be. So, you know what? We're coming back to church full time on October 11th.
Which is this Sunday.
This Sunday. And if you're not watching the updates from Pastor Brent, you better. Because you know what's going to get even better than that? He's bringing back youth.
Eventually.
He
Not
is.
this week, but we're working on it.
We're working on it. We're working on it.
But we're having 2 services, one at 9 and the other one at 10:30.
I'm glad you told me the time or I'd be late.
And if any of you kids know that we need volunteers for nursery too. I've received that message that we need volunteers. Youth, we need volunteers for nursery. You, are you getting this? We need volunteers for nursery. Nursery volunteers.
Yeah, that's right.
This Sunday,
October 11th.
2 services, 9 and 10:30. And hopefully some of you will be here to volunteer for nursery.
So until Sunday, I'll say bye.
Bye.